Welcome back to the channel, Rarest Coins. Where we uncover the truth about the most valuable coins hiding in plain sight. Today, we are diving into one of the most iconic and mysterious coins in American history, the 1965 Washington quarter. This is not just any quarter. We are talking about a coin that could be sitting in your pocket right now, a coin that once sold for an incredible $1.6 million. You heard that right. $1.6 million for a coin most people would not look at twice. But why is this coin so valuable? What makes the 1965 Washington quarter so special? And could you really have one of these million-dollar coins in your own home? Let's start with a little history. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington. It quickly became a permanent part of American coinage. For decades, Washington quarters were made with 90% silver and 10% copper. That changed in 1965. Why did this happen? In the early 1960s, the value of silver began to rise. The melt value of coins like the silver dime, quarter, and half dollar was becoming worth more than the face value. People began hoarding silver coins. The United States government took notice and decided to remove silver from most circulating coins to prevent shortages and hoarding. Starting in 1965, the Mint introduced what we now call clad coinage. The new quarters were made with a core of pure copper and outer layers of a copper-nickel alloy. That's what made the 1965 Washington quarter so significant. It marked the first year the U.S. quarter was struck with no silver content in over 30 years. The U.S. Mint produced over 1.8 billion of these quarters in 1965. That's billion with a B. So on the surface, they are extremely common. You can still find them in pocket change or old coin jars. But here's the twist. Despite all of that, a rare 1965 Washington quarter shocked the coin world when it sold for a staggering $1.6 million at a private sale. So, what made that one quarter so valuable? The answer lies in what is called a transitional error. A transitional error happens when a coin is struck using metal blanks from a previous year. In this case, a very small number of 1,965 quarters were accidentally struck on 1964 silver planchets. These coins look like regular 1965 quarters, but are actually made of 90% silver. This error occurred during the transition from silver to clad coinage. At the time, both 1964 silver planchets and 1965 copper-nickel planchets were circulating through the mint, and a few slipped through the cracks. These silver 1965 quarters are incredibly rare. Most people would never know they had one unless they tested the coin or knew what signs to look for. And it gets better. The most valuable example discovered was not just a silver planchet error. It was in brilliant uncirculated condition and graded MS68. That is near perfection. This coin had sharp details, a full strike, and original luster that looked like it had never been touched. When it went to auction, collectors went crazy. The final sale price reached an unbelievable $1.6 million. So how do you know if your 1965 Washington quarter might be worth a fortune? Here are the key things to look for. First, check the edge of the coin. A regular 1965 clad quarter will show a copper-colored edge when viewed from the side. That is the copper core sandwiched between two nickel layers. But a silver 1965 quarter will have a solid silver-colored edge with no trace of copper. If you see that, it's worth investigating further. Second, check the weight. A clad 1965 quarter weighs about 5.67 grams. A silver planchet quarter from 1964 weighs about 6.25 grams. The difference might seem small, but with a precise digital scale, you can tell. That little extra weight could mean the difference between 25 cents and over $1 million. Third, consider the sound test. Silver coins have a very distinct ring when dropped gently on a hard surface. Clad coins sound dull in comparison. If you hear that high-pitched ring, you may be onto something. Finally, look at the condition. If the coin is uncirculated or has very little wear, and it seems to have a different color or luster than a regular quarter, get it professionally checked. A coin grading service like PCGS or NGC can confirm if it's genuine and assign a grade, which greatly increases the coin's value. Now here's an important tip. Never clean your coin. Cleaning a rare coin can ruin its value instantly. If you think you found a valuable 1965 quarter, handle it by the edges only, place it in a plastic holder, and take it to a reputable coin expert or submit it for professional grading. So let's do a quick recap. In 1965, the U.S. Mint stopped using silver in quarters, but a few 1965 quarters were accidentally struck on leftover silver planchets. These transitional error coins are extremely rare. If yours is in great condition and made of silver, it could be worth thousands, even millions. One example, graded MS-68 and struck on a silver planchet, sold for a record-breaking $1.6 million. That is why coin hunting is so exciting. You never know what hidden treasure might be waiting in your change, your drawer, or that old coin jar passed down from a relative. That one ordinary-looking coin could be a life-changing discovery. If you found this video helpful or inspiring, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more stories about rare coins, valuable finds, and tips on how to check your change. And if you have a 1965 quarter that looks different or feels heavier, let us know in the comments. You just might have $1 million coin and not even know it. Thanks for watching. Keep hunting, keep learning, and as always, check your change. Because treasure is still out there, and the next big find could be in your pocket right now. Would you like a shorter version for YouTube Shorts, a catchy title and thumbnail idea, or voiceover formatting for narration? Let me know how else I can help with your video content. Welcome back to the channel. Rarest Coins. If you've ever dug through your change and wondered if you're holding on to something incredibly valuable, then you're going to want to stick around. Because today, we're diving into one of the most shocking coin stories in modern American history, the 2018 P quarter dollar that sold for a jaw-dropping $1.2 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single quarter, just 25 cents, sold for more than $1 million. And the best part? It was found in circulation. So if you've got a jar of change sitting at home, you might just have a small fortune waiting to be discovered. Now let's break it all down. First, a quick history lesson on the 2018 quarter. In 2018, the United States Mint continued its America the Beautiful Quarters program. This program started in 2010 and ran until 2021, featuring national parks and sites from all 50 states, D.C., and the 5 U.S. territories. In 2018, 5 unique designs were released. 1. Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore in Michigan. 2. Apostle Islands National Lakeshore in Wisconsin. 3. Voyageurs National Park in Minnesota. 4. Cumberland Island National Seashore in Georgia. 5. Block Island National Wildlife Refuge in Rhode Island. Each of these quarters featured a P Mint mark if they were struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Millions of these coins were produced, and under normal circumstances, they are worth just their face value. But as with many things in the world of coin collecting, it's the rare errors and unusual conditions that can make a coin truly valuable. So how does a 2018 P quarter end up selling for over $1 million? Let's talk about the key factors that make coins valuable: rarity, condition, and errors. In the case of the 2018 P quarter that sold for $1.2 million, it was all about a minting error. This particular coin was a double die obverse, which means the image on the front of the coin was struck twice by the die, creating a noticeable doubling effect, especially in the lettering and design elements like Washington's face and the inscriptions. But it wasn't just any double die. Experts who examined the coin agreed that the doubling was extreme and perfectly preserved. On top of that, the coin was graded as MS-68 by PCGS, which is incredibly high for a coin that entered circulation. MS stands for mint state, and 68 is just 2 points below the perfect grade of 70. The combination of a dramatic error, ultra-high grade, and the growing interest in modern U.S. coin errors made this quarter a perfect storm for collectors. When it went up for auction in 2021, intense bidding pushed the final price to a staggering $1.2 million. But what does this mean for you? Well, the good news is that there are still error quarters out there. The U.S. Mint produces billions of coins every year, and even with today's advanced technology, mistakes can and do still happen. If you come across a 2018 P quarter, here's what to look for. First, examine the obverse side closely. Look at the words "In God We Trust" and "Liberty." Check the details of Washington's face. If you see doubling, particularly if it's crisp and clear, you might be holding a valuable double die. Second, check the condition of the coin. If it looks like it just came out of a fresh roll, that's a good sign. The fewer scratches, the better. You can always take it to a local coin dealer for a preliminary opinion or send it in to be graded by a professional company like PCGS or NGC. Third, pay attention to the reverse design. Sometimes the error may show up there as well. Off-center strikes, die cracks, and missing elements are all things that can add significant value to a coin. Now let's take a moment to talk about what collectors are actually paying for 2018 P quarters today. For a normal circulated 2018 P quarter without any errors, the value is typically just 25 cents. If it's uncirculated and from a mint roll, you might get $1 or $2 from a collector trying to complete a set. But if you have a verified error coin, especially a double die or something unique, you could be looking at hundreds, thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars depending on the severity and condition. And remember, that $1.2 million sale wasn't a fluke. It was a perfect storm of the right error, the right grade, and the right time. But there are still undiscovered treasures out there, and they can show up in the most unexpected places. Vending machines, parking meters, that old change jar in your kitchen. So what can you do today? Start checking your quarters, especially 2018 P mint marks. Get a magnifying glass, look closely for doubling or strange markings, and if something looks off, don't ignore it. Do some research or talk to a professional. Coin collecting is one of the most rewarding hobbies in the world because it combines history, treasure hunting, and the potential for incredible financial reward. So the next time you're handed some change, take a second look, because that little coin in your hand might just be worth $1 million. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or exciting, hit that like button and subscribe for more rare coin finds, coin values, and collecting tips. And let us know in the comments if you've ever found a rare coin in your change. Who knows? Maybe your story will be the next one we cover. Until next time, happy hunting and keep checking that change. Let me know if you'd like a version with timestamps, a shortened version, or one tailored for a shorts or TikTok style format. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving deep into one of the most shocking stories in modern American coin collecting. We are talking about the 1980 P Washington quarter. At first glance, this might seem like just another old coin. But what if I told you that one version of this quarter sold for an unbelievable $1.3 million? That is right. A 25-cent coin turning into over $1 million. So stick around because you might have one sitting in your change jar right now. Let us start with a little background. The Washington quarter has been a part of American life since 1932. It was originally created to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, and it became so popular that it was adopted as the standard design for the quarter moving forward. For decades, the front or obverse of the coin has featured a portrait of George Washington, while the reverse, or back side, had the iconic heraldic eagle. Now in 1980, something big happened. That year marked the beginning of a new decade, and the Philadelphia Mint officially began adding a P mint mark to quarters. Before 1980, Philadelphia did not use a mint mark on quarters at all. So the 1980 P quarter was the very first time a quarter from the Philadelphia Mint carried the P mint mark. That alone makes it a historically important coin for collectors. But that is not the only reason it is valuable. Most 1980 P quarters are common. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 635 million of them. They are found everywhere. In drawers, pockets, even soda machines. So what made one version of this coin worth over $1 million? The answer lies in a rare and dramatic mint error combined with a high grade and collector demand. A particular 1980 P Washington quarter made headlines when it was found to have a double strike error with full brockage. Now if you're new to coin collecting, a brockage is when a coin is struck with another coin between it and the die, causing a mirror image to appear on one side. It creates a stunning visual effect that looks unlike anything else you have seen on a coin. This coin showed the full brockage clearly, along with perfect centering, no postmint damage, and brilliant uncirculated luster. To make it even more special, it was graded as MS67 by a top-tier grading company. That is Mint State 67, nearly a perfect grade. For a coin from 1980, that is extremely hard to find in such good condition. But what pushed this particular coin over the edge was collector demand. Error coins from the early 1980s have been gaining attention, and this one stood out not just for its rarity, but for its stunning presentation. When it was placed in a major coin auction, multiple high-end collectors competed for it. After a bidding war that left people speechless, the coin sold for $1.3 million. Yes, $1.3 million for a Washington quarter from 1980. A coin that started out as just another piece of pocket change. So what does this mean for you? It means that hidden treasures could be closer than you think. The 1980 P quarter is still out there in circulation. Millions were made, and while the vast majority are worth only face value, there are a few rare errors that can change your life. Here's what you should look for. Start with the mint mark. If you find a 1980 quarter with AP on the front near Washington's ponytail, you have the Philadelphia version. Now take a close look at both sides of the coin. You are searching for doubling in the lettering or image. This would suggest a double die. You are also looking for off-center strikes, blockage errors, missing elements, or anything that looks strange or out of place. A true blockage error will have a ghost-like impression of the coin design on the opposite side. If it looks like a mirror image or has strange reflections, do not ignore it. Those are incredibly rare and highly valuable. Also, look at the condition of the coin. Is it shiny and uncirculated? Does it have no visible scratches or dents? The closer to mint state, the better. Even common 1980p quarters in MS65 or higher condition can be worth $10 to $50, sometimes more depending on the market. But if you think you have something truly rare, your next step should be to get it professionally graded. Two of the most trusted grading companies in the world are PCGS and NGC. They can confirm whether your coin has a rare error and give it an official grade, which can increase its value dramatically at auction. You should also check coin roll hunts from banks. Get rolls of quarters and go through them one by one. It might take time and patience, but people have found valuable errors this way, including on coins from the 1980s.so. To wrap it all up, the 1980p Washington quarter marked a turning point in U.S. coin history. It was the first year the Philadelphia Mint added its P mark to the quarter. While most are common, one version with a stunning full blockage error and a near-perfect grade sold for a record $1.3 million. And yes, coins like this can still be out there. So always check your change. Get a magnifying glass. Start coin roll hunting, because the next $1 million quarter might be sitting quietly in your pocket right now. Thanks for watching. If you found this video interesting or helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more amazing coin discoveries and collecting tips. Let us know in the comments if you have ever found a rare coin or if you have a 1980p quarter with something unusual on it. We love hearing your stories. Until next time, happy hunting and keep checking the change. You never know what treasure might be waiting for you. Let me know if you want an SEO-friendly title or thumbnail text ideas to go with this script, or a short version for YouTube Shorts. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to blow your mind. Imagine finding a regular-looking quarter in your change. You put it aside, thinking nothing of it. But then someone tells you that it might be worth over $1 million. Sounds crazy, right? Well, today we are talking about the 2021 P quarter dollar and the shocking story of how one rare version of this coin sold for an unbelievable $1.1 million. Now, before we jump into the million-dollar details, let's talk about the history of the 2021 quarter and why this specific year is so important for collectors. In 2021, the United States Mint wrapped up the America the Beautiful Quarters program, which had run from 2010 through early 2021. This program featured iconic national parks and historical sites from across the country. But the final coin of the program in early 2021 was the Tuskegee Airmen National Historic Site Quarter. This coin honored the legendary Tuskegee Airmen, who were the first African-American military aviators in the United States Armed Forces. Their courage and dedication in World War II changed history forever. This design marked the end of an era for the America the Beautiful series. But that's not the only quarter that came out in 2021. Later in 2021, the U.S. Mint issued a transitional quarter. This new design featured the familiar portrait of George Washington on the front, but with a fresh and modern reverse showing Washington crossing the Delaware River. This design was intended to be a bridge between the previous America the Beautiful quarters and the new American Women quarters that began in 2022. Now both the Tuskegee Airmen quarter and the Washington crossing the Delaware quarter came with a P Mint mark, meaning they were struck at the Philadelphia Mint. These coins were released into circulation just like any other quarter. Millions of them were made. So how on earth could one of these be worth over $1 million? Well, it comes down to a combination of extreme rarity, a major mint error, and nearly perfect condition. One of the most valuable and talked about 2021 P quarters ever discovered was a Washington crossing the Delaware coin that featured a full blockage error on the obverse. That means during minting, another blank planchet got in the way, causing a mirror-like impression of the reverse to be pressed into the front of the coin. The result was a stunning one-of-a-kind coin. A perfect example of a minting error that collectors go wild for. On top of that, this coin was found in nearly pristine condition. It was later graded as MS68 by a leading grading service. And if you are familiar with coin grading, you know that MS68 is considered extremely high. especially for a coin found in the wild. The error itself was dramatic and clear. No question about what had happened. This wasn't a small die crack or a minor strike through. It was a bold, beautiful, and extremely rare error. When it was put up for auction, the bidding went absolutely wild. Collectors from around the world wanted to get their hands on it. And when the dust settled, the final price hit $1.1 million. That is right. A 2021 quarter from Philadelphia sold for over $1 million. Now you might be wondering, is there any chance you have one of these coins in your own pocket or coin jar? The answer is yes. It is rare, but these types of errors can and do slip out of the mint. And there may be more out there waiting to be discovered. So here is what you need to do. Start by looking at any 2021 quarters with the P mint mark. You can find the P on the front of the coin near Washington's ponytail. Once you find a 2021 P quarter, take a close look at both sides. You are looking for anything out of the ordinary. Some key signs include a brockage, which looks like one side of the coin has been smashed with a ghostly image of the other side. Other things to look for include off-center strikes, double dies, and missing elements. Even if it's not the exact million-dollar coin, there are other valuable errors from 2021 that have sold for hundreds or thousands of dollars. Some collectors pay big money for rare errors, especially when the coins are still in mint state condition. Another tip is to check your rolls of coins. If you go to a bank and request quarter rolls, you might get lucky and find a few 2021 P coins that have never been touched. These are more likely to be in excellent condition and could increase your chances of spotting a rare variety or error. And if you think you might have something special, do not hesitate to get a second opinion. Contact a professional coin dealer or send your coin in for grading to companies like PCGS or NGC. A small investment in grading could lead to a huge return if your coin turns out to be one of the rare ones. So let's recap. The 2021 P quarter features two different designs: the Tuskegee Airman and the Washington crossing the Delaware. While both are common in circulation, a very small number of error coins escaped the mint, including one with a massive brockage error that sold for $1.1 million. The coin was graded MS-68, making it one of the finest known examples of a modern mint error. And it just might be sitting in someone's coin jar right now. The moral of the story is simple. Always check your change. Take the time to look closely at your coins. You never know when a little piece of metal in your hand could change your life forever. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories about rare coins, valuable finds, and collecting tips. And drop a comment below if you have any interesting finds in your own collection. We love hearing from you and sharing your stories with the coin community. Until next time, keep hunting, keep learning, and who knows, you might be the next lucky person to find $1 million quarter. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Let me know if you'd like a voiceover script version or a shorter version for YouTube Shorts or TikTok. Welcome back to the channel. Rarest Coins. Today's video will leave you double-checking your change jar and flipping through your old coin rolls, because we are talking about the 1989 D Washington quarter. At first glance, this may look like just another common coin you've seen 1,000 times. But what if I told you that one version of this quarter sold for a jaw-dropping $1.4 million? That is not a myth. It is a true story from the world of rare coin collecting. So stay tuned as we uncover the history, the unique features, and the hidden errors of the 1989 D Washington quarter. By the end of this video, you might be inspired to go through your coins, and who knows, you could be holding a fortune without even knowing it. Let us start with the basics. The Washington quarter has been a part of U.S. currency since 1932. It was introduced to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Over the years, it became one of the most iconic coins in circulation, showing Washington's profile on the front with a bald eagle on the back. This design remained largely unchanged for decades. Now fast forward to 1989. This year marked the final stretch of the traditional Washington quarter design before major changes came a decade later with the 50-state quarters program. The 1989 quarters were struck at multiple mints, including the Denver Mint, which placed a small D mint mark on the coin just to the right of Washington's ponytail. The Denver Mint produced over 897 million of these quarters in 1989. That is nearly 900 million coins. So on the surface, these quarters seem extremely common. You can still find them in circulation, pocket change, or coin jars across the country. But like with many coins, the real story lies in the rare mistakes, the mint errors that should never have happened. Now let's talk about the million-dollar mystery. Among the hundreds of millions of 1989 D quarters, a very small number were struck with extraordinary errors. The most famous of them all is the one that shocked collectors and sold for an astonishing $1.4 million. So what made that coin different? This particular 1989 D quarter was struck on a planchet intended for a US dime. That's right. Instead of being struck on a copper-nickel quarter blank, it was mistakenly minted on a smaller dime-sized blank. As a result, the coin was visibly smaller than a normal quarter, thinner, and slightly off-center. But it still had a full quarter design. This kind of error is called a wrong planchet strike, and it is one of the most sought-after errors in the coin collecting world. But here's where things get even more interesting. The error was struck with full detail. No parts of the design were missing. The coin was in stunning uncirculated condition. It had been preserved perfectly, likely pulled from a coin roll or bank bag before it ever hit circulation. When this coin was sent for grading, it came back as MS68. That is mint state 68, a near-perfect grade on the coin grading scale which tops out at 70. The shine, the detail, the crispness, everything about it screamed rarity and perfection. And when this coin was put on the market, collectors from around the world took notice. The bidding war that followed pushed the final price to $1.4 million. Now you might be thinking, how is it even possible that a coin like this could slip through the cracks? Well, back in the late 1980s, the mint was producing massive quantities of coins to meet demand. Mistakes happened, especially when leftover planchets from previous batches or even different denominations were mistakenly fed into the coin presses. These types of transitional or wrong planchet errors are very rare, but they do happen. And when they show up in pristine condition, collectors are willing to pay big money. So how can you tell if your 1989 D quarter is valuable? Here is what to look for. First, check the size. If your quarter is noticeably smaller or lighter than a normal one, it might have been struck on the wrong planchet. A regular quarter weighs about 5.67 grams. A dime weighs about 2.27 grams. That is a big difference you can spot with a small digital scale. Second, look at the detail. If the design appears squeezed, off-center, or cut off in any way, it may have been struck on a planchet not meant for a quarter. Third, check the surface condition. The coin that sold for $1.4 million was in nearly perfect condition. While yours does not have to be flawless to have value, coins with little to no wear are far more desirable. Fourth, consider professional grading. If you think you have something unique, send it to a trusted grading company like PCGS or NGC. They can authenticate the error, give it a proper grade, and help you understand its true market value. And here is the best part. You do not need to be a professional to find rare coins. All it takes is a little patience and curiosity. Go through your change. Visit banks and ask for coin rolls. Search online marketplaces and estate sales. Many incredible coin finds have come from everyday people just like you who took the time to look. So to sum it all up, the 1989 D Washington quarter was struck in massive numbers, but one rare error made history. A quarter struck on a dime planchet, in near-perfect condition, sold for $1.4 million. Errors like this are extremely rare but still possible to find. If you have a 1989 D quarter that looks or feels different, do not ignore it. You could be holding a life-changing treasure. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video helpful or inspiring, be sure to like and subscribe. We bring you real stories about valuable coins, collecting tips, and the thrill of the hunt. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a strange coin or if you are hunting for one of your own. Until next time, keep checking your change and never stop hunting. Your million-dollar discovery might be right in your hands. Would you like help creating a thumbnail idea, video title, or a shortened version for YouTube Shorts? Let me know how else I can support your content.